All right. I'm starting this channel because I see and I've heard in my first hand account of life, a lot of people want to know what it takes to get in IT or to start in IT. I work in IT for about 7 years. I'm a senior Windows engineer for like a tier one organization, very famous. I'm not going to say the name. And I actually get this a lot in my personal life. I get people asking, hey, what's it take? What do you have to do? Um, do I have what it takes? I want to do what you do. Yes, I do make pretty good money. Top 5% for millennials. Actually, top 3% for millennials. So here I'm going to tell you a few steps. Okay, you probably if people that work in IT understand this and they'll know what I'm saying is legit if they work at top organizations. Number one, I think you have to have a drive and a passion for IT, for computers and for computing and for the subject matter. It has to be something that you just love. You should be able to spend hours on a computer. Number one. Number two, I think that working in a call support center for a tech support center probably is number one, or like a line factory for PCs, technology, maybe imaging PCs, phones. That's a good way to start, get in the game. So that's a call center or an imaging center. If they have these, if you're by a metropolitan area, they should have these where, a company will need like 100 iPhones sent out or 1,000 iPhones or iPods sent out as a POS device, and then you image them with the software. That'll teach you how to solve problems fast. And with the call center, the good thing is that you'll find out, in the first 3 months if you're going to make it in IT. I started a call center, actually imaging the call center for tech support center, and I was able to clear, it was help desk, desktop support. I was able to clear, 97% of my calls without escalation. I think that, and you have to do it in an efficient manner and while applying the corporate principles and the corporate ethos to your customers' interactions, or else, quality assurance is going to make sure that you know that. So, number two, imaging center or tech support center. Make sure that if you work at a tech support center, you're prepared to hustle because you're gonna have to clear 95% of your calls, 90% if you want to actually be like an A plus performer. Anything less than like 85, you probably won't make it in IT. I know it sounds crazy, it sounds messed up, but you probably won't because IT requires you to be able to think fast and solve problems logically. Okay, so that's very important. And actually, I remember with my team when I first got at a call center after working at an imaging center. It was literally like 50 of us new employees, and within 3 weeks, everybody was gone but me. I was the only person who was able to actually keep their escalation rate at like 98% without escalation, and it was tremendous in my problem solving, decision making, and while actually contributing to a knowledge base and understanding how the corporate flow goes. Because once you become whether that's an IT administrator, IT specialist, IT engineer, you're gonna have to solve problems very fast, efficiently, and while cataloging a bunch of data. That's very important as well. So that's number two. Um, Number three, I would say, I mean, for me, moving, always being near a metropolitan city is very important. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with like jobs in the boonies that really have no job chance of progression. You have to move to hot spots for information technology. After you've done, your call center work, your imaging center work, and don't get complacent with help desk jobs. That's only one part. Now, a lot of people think that certifications are very important, and they are to a certain extent. But right now in my organization, we're like we get the best engineers, architects, like literally in the world. I would say maybe 30% only have certifications, and some actually like probably half don't have degrees. No exaggeration, no exaggeration. But they started in IT very young. Like these people were working in computers since they were literally like 20, 21, as I have. Since I was, 20, 21. And before that, I was building, fixing them on my own, fixing them for friends and family. And I was already acclimated with the processes of a computer. And so certifications, it helps for sure. It gives you a push for your resume. But Once you realize that nothing beats experience, nothing beats experience. That's number one. Actually number four, but number five. It is, I would say, don't pay for money for boot camps. I think boot camps are a waste of time. I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, you can go from making $100,000 after a 3 to 6 month boot camp." They are lying to you. They are manipulating you. This is impossible. You cannot become a software engineer in 6 months. Yes, everybody online says it, but I've never met anybody in IT or engineering that's been able to do that. Okay, ever, and I've met, I mean, hundreds upon hundreds. I've never met anybody who did not have corporate experience or experience, since they were in their 20s. I never met somebody who did a corporate boot camp and made it within 6 months to six figures. It's not real life. This is only in the internet land where everybody is a 6 figure entrepreneur making $1 million a week, driving a Lamborghini, and they have $100 million in Bitcoin. And yeah, they're lying. They're lying to you. Okay, I'm not saying it won't help your knowledge base, but you don't understand. In corporate America and in these top organizations, tier one organizations, whether they're no matter what, experience matters. Unless you're fresh out of MIT with the BS in comp sci, then okay. But I don't think you are. So that's very important to realize that these boot camps and these schools where they say, oh, 2 years and we'll pay you if you don't have a job in 6 months. They're lying to you. People lie to you for money. Welcome to Earth. Welcome to America in 2021. People lie. Don't fall victim to it, okay? So please, I can't stress this enough. Nothing's gonna beat experience. Nothing's gonna beat just experience. Flat out. It sucks because how do you start something if you have no experience? I know this is the quagmire. This is why you should always take a job. So this is my next step. Take a job paying less than you want for experience for your first few jobs, okay? Just FYI, my first job was paying like $9 an hour as a PC tech. Okay, $9 an hour. Next job 13. Yeah, next job 13. Next job 18. Next job 26. Then the next job was a lot more than that. I don't want to say just for personal reasons, but a lot more than that. Okay, more than 50%. Yeah. So, but every time I was adding to my skill set, I was a PC tech, imaging tech, and then in desktop support. Okay, at help desk, and then IT specialist. Okay, that's the job you probably want to get the most, which is more so like at first you start as an IT specialist where you're handling it for a large scale corporation. You should definitely do that, and then you go if you want to take it to the next level. You work for just like a nice reputable company and you manage the entire IT department. That's what I did as well. That gave me the most experience I could ever imagine. Okay, I was managing it for a company that had a $200 million company. I won't say the name. And I was the entire IT department. I had a director, and he was doing like the planning of like the department, the weekly planning, the biweekly planning, the monthly planning, and I was doing the day-to-day operations of it. That was very important for me to learn, and it helped me out a great deal. And the next, after you get the IT specialist, you definitely want to get a job as like an infrastructure engineer if you have the broader skills. Infrastructure engineer is really like OS, hosting, Windows, Linux, networking. It's a jack of all trades. This is the new job now. This has been really like we're people who want to take it a step above IT specialist or Windows system engineer, Windows administrator to infrastructure engineer. This is where everything's going to the. I'm not gonna say everything's going to the cloud, but to a certain extent, yeah, but not really. There's always going to be on-prem services, on-prem devices because a lot of people feel more comfortable, especially that I've been working in tech, feel more comfortable when there are on-prem services, devices, and resources. It's human nature. And I think that allows more facilitation of people who who are more broad on the skills, whether they're networking guys, infrastructure guys, Windows guys. Because if you have a dedicated cloud based, um, like a semi private, semi public atmosphere environment, you're gonna need a cloud based administrator, and yes, that's gonna be a good certification to get or experience. But at the same time, I think that's only a part. It's not the whole solution. Okay. I just kind of rambled on, but so basically, what I'm saying is that certifications are good, but maybe they're depends who you are, right? So it helps, but it doesn't. It's not the end all be all as well. Boot camps are. I personally think I wouldn't pay for one. I would teach myself to pay for one. I would teach myself instead of paying for one, because what you don't understand is, well, in IT engineering, nobody helps you. Nobody helps you. Okay? People want to see how good and smart you are and how you do things. Nobody is going to help you. And it sounds like what? Like nobody helps you? Yes, nobody helped me. I've worked at some great places, right? World class organizations, and nobody actually helped me. They expect you to be able to perform from the get go. You're given, your tools, your resources, and said, okay, here's where this is. Here are the host names for this. Okay, here are the domain controllers. Here are the network domains. Here's how we do things. Here's some LDAP proprietary software that we use. Here's the core system. These are the power ones we use. These are the scripts we use. Tell me what you think. Tell me, here's how we do an app build. Okay, now you take over that app build. Things like this. Okay. People just you're on your own to a certain extent, and even at the top organizations, you have help, but you're more so expected to be able to be a self-starter. That's why I said coding boot camps don't even work, because the top people I've ever met in IT, they were already like they started at age 20 and taught themselves everything they know, like I did. And it sucks to say, but this is like the new gold rush for some reason. People think you could just be. I'm sorry, but it's going to be hard for you to be 45 and get in the game of tech when people have been doing it for 20 years. Why would I take somebody who did a coding boot camp at age 38 when there's some kid who grew up on the PC since he was age 10? This is all he knows, And I've met some awkward people, but they were just tacticians with computing, and amazing. And they probably won't be VPs or directors because they don't have the social skills, but they have the intellect, so they're gonna survive and have a job forever. There'll be a chief engineer in the field somewhere. I've met a few. So take it as you want. You might want to have a coding boot camp, might not, but I wouldn't do it. Certifications help, but they're not necessary. Experience is going to trump that. So if you're better off getting a job paying, starting early. That's why in your 20s you can take these shitty jobs, get a job paying, $13 an hour as a PC tech. Learn everything you can. Transition within 6 months. Okay, 6 months. You should not be at a dead end job for more than 8 months, even more than a year. I say a year. Okay. What else? Experience is king. Period. Experience is king. Do whatever you can to get that experience. And remember, you're competing against people that have been doing this since they were, 10. Maybe that's fixing computers, building computers, understanding the architecture of software, hardware. And this is not the new gold rush. There's a high barrier of entry to IT. Okay, I know people make it seem like it's all fun and games. You can do it too, but you probably can't. Let's just be realistic here. If you could, you would. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or worse, but you're only going to set yourself up for disappointment. Yeah, certifications, not necessary. Helps. Boot camps, I wouldn't. Experience is king, and you have to have the intellect for it. Like you have to have a passion, a desire to be good in tech. And then move to a metropolitan city. That's always going to be the best. More experience, more opportunity, more money, always. And I would say, yeah, that's gonna be it. Like, subscribe. I'm gonna probably do more commentary on IT tech, what it takes to get a job at like a tier one organization, and the overall expectation is the workflow, what it takes. All right, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, if if you don't like what I'm saying, but I'm telling you, this is true. These people are lying to you on YouTube and social media, making it seem like it's super easy. They're lying to you for money. They're lying. They're lying. Okay, so like, subscribe, do all that jazz. Thank you for the watch.